There's only winners and there's losers. That's it, right? And so at some point you're going to be one of the losers. And when you're a success is when you learn how to lose well and with dignity and honor and respect, and congratulations to the winner. They were a worthy opponent. If you are going against unworthy opponents just to collect a win, that's not a win.
Welcome to Old Guys Still Rock. Super grateful you gave us a look or a listen. We specifically developed this podcast for friends or soon to be friends who are in the 40 plus category. This podcast is a platform to not only have your voices be heard, but also for others who are going through the same thing and know that they too aren't alone. Our topics may be business, topics may be entrepreneurship, our topics may be social, or our topics may be just everyday life. Whatever it is, we hope that you give it a share and leave us a comment. But most of all, if you want your voice to be heard, please leave us a comment on how to get a hold of you so you too can be an old guy that still rocks and help build our community. Until we speak again, stay safe, but most of all, God bless. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It has just been a crazy couple of weeks. Typically, we go through an introduction. If this is your first time here, I'm Blair Armstrong of Team Armstrong Coldwell Banker. I am a global luxury specialist in the world of residential real estate. I am located in beautiful Palm Desert, California. Most of the people should know that by now. If you don't know where it is, go to Palm Springs and go east a little bit and you'll find Palm Desert. But anyway, on my right, possibly your left, sometimes it comes out a different way. A good friend of mine, Brent Wright, Brent Wright Incorporated, has been a good friend of mine for almost 30 years. Man with many hats, from wellness centers to body shops to detail shops, to owning multiple properties, and also a payroll companies. And for a long time, which has been super undercover, not that long, but long enough. He's also a great business coach, great personal coach, sharing life experiences to help others grow and that business growing too. And if you haven't looked into him yet, I would definitely take some time, follow him for a little bit, peel back the onion, call him, get some questions going. Same thing with us. But anyway, kind of long drawn out introduction. If this is your first time here, we are Old Guys Still Rock. And this is probably going to be the best podcast that you have never seen yet. And we have a lot to cover today. It is Wednesday. It's a day after the election. And our topic today, in episode number 75 of How Ironic Is That, we are kind of in this little monumental 75 episode. We are going to talk about unity in the world of chaos. And I just feel like there's a temperature right now. There were some winners last night and there were some losers last night. And on both sides, it's kind of a hard pill to swallow. What's next? And if you haven't followed us in the last 74 episodes, and this is the first time you're coming in episode number 75, Brent and I strongly encourage you to go back and watch this because it's all going to tie in. We do not have bullet points that go down. We're going to talk about this today, this today, this today, this today. We are a free-flowing conversation, but I promise you this, after watching this episode, you are going to go, how did these guys know this is what I was thinking? Because that's what we hear all the time. But anyways, brother, you are in a funky spot right now. After election. You are in LA. Typically Brent Wright is in Eugene, Oregon, but he is doing business out in LA right now. But how are you? What's the vibe around there? How are things?
Haven't seen the vibe yet because I haven't left the hotel room this morning. I woke up at 3:30 a.m. I don't know why, but I've been getting up, ever since the time change.
Yeah.
Still, because my circadian rhythm is so static, I've been getting up an hour earlier than what it actually is. So normally I wake up around 4:30. I typically take a little slow ramp getting out of bed, usually 4:45, 5 o'clock at the latest. And so everything is an hour shift. So I work waking up at 3:30, ramping up, getting out of bed at 4, and yeah, just trying to execute at a high level and get a lot of things done before the world wakes up here in LA. So I've been able to see the sunrise every day this week, which is super cool.
That's cool,
In,
right?
in Oregon this time of year, we don't get a lot of sunrises that you can see because it's pretty
No.
gray. So
It's yeah, this too. I mean, it's kind of weird down here is now that the sun's kind of going back down to the south, especially down in Southern California. Like, you can call somebody over and like, man, it's going to be an awesome day. And I'm like, man, it's still pitch black here. I remember talking to some people at 5:30, it's sunny here and it's still dark up in Oregon, typically around 6:30 in the morning. But anyway,
well, and at 4:30 at night.
At 4:30 at night too, right?
Yeah, so we're starting to get that where the outside lights are on timers and sensors, and they're kicking on about 4:35, 4:40.
Yeah.
Or on a gray day, it's so dark that the outside lights stay on all day because it's not light enough to kick that sensor, right? So yeah, but the temperature down here, we'll see how it plays out. I haven't experienced anybody yet this morning, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
We talked pre-show about being a good loser.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of folks down here that are on one side of the fence, and so I'm intrigued to have those interactions and to see how things play out. I posted, like I was telling you pre-show, I posted last night. Bedros Keuilian said, "No matter what happens, I'm still going to get up. I'm still going to work out. I'm still going to execute at a high level, and I'm still going to produce content that is thought-provoked and adds value to everybody that I interact with." And I would tell you that, your subject, unity and chaos, that you sent me, got me thinking about that we've had up to this point, am I a leader? Am I an alpha? Am I, all the things that we've talked about in all the prior episodes. Today's the day where the rubber meets the road. Are you those things in light of the fact that there might be chaos? Or are you all those things in light of the fact that things might have not gone your way, or that they did even go your way? I find it interesting how quiet everything is and how quiet people are, even on both sides of the aisle, right? We've talked about this, we're trying to not be on the left side of the aisle or the right side of the aisle. We're trying to be down the middle and create unity in our conversations, in our actions, in our delivery of both.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say, so we have got some feedback on this side. Am I coming through your speakers? Am I still in your headphones or am I in your?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I got some feedback coming on. Anyway.
Do you want me to try and change my microphone?
Nope, I'm good. It went away. Realistically, what I have been thinking about is that we have been fed. So this is, I'm going to go back. It's going to take a little bit for me to get back to this point. But so we're talking about unity and chaos. So we have one side that has won, one side that's lost. But the big thing that you just said, Turley, I really want to make that clear. We may have voted a certain way compared to other people. But at the end of the day, we are independent thinkers. Yep. We want a commonality with everyone that we walk to. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. We want to have a freedom of America. We want to have freedom of business. And certain times, that's going to align with a certain party over another. But at the end of the day, that is not going to make us who we are. You and I, not everybody, you and I have belief in one power, and that of God. And that's our independent. Democrats could go away, Republicans could go away. We still have one leader in our eyes. And the guys watching this, you don't have to believe in it. It's just our thought. We're not going to be religious on this or spiritual, however you want to put it. The point I'm trying to make is that Brent said something. It's time the rubber meets the road. If your side lost, how are you going to rise and become the leader that you've wanted over the last couple of weeks, months, years to really say, you know what? My side took the L. I need to stand up. I need to pull up my big boy pants, my big girl pants, and I need to go ahead and this is what we have for at least the next 4 years. How am I going to come across, quote unquote, what media points on enemy lines and work with my neighbor? Winner's side, how am I not going to gloat, pull up my big boy pants or my big girl pants and come across enemy lines and work with your neighbor saying, okay, we have these people in charge. Now it's time for us. Everything's done. The groundwork has been laid. How are we going to start working together? Is it getting rid of NBC? Is it getting rid of Fox? Is it getting rid of CNN? Is it getting more invested in the podcast that we're doing here? Brent doesn't have the answer. I don't have the answer. He may have some insight, and I may have some different insight. But the communication stuff that we've been talking over the last months, if not years, this is the time that needs to be done. Unity and chaos. It's coming. It's going to be fabricated to make like the world's falling apart. It's going to be a rough road for a little bit. Let's just put it out there. It is what it is. But are you going to sit there and you're going to play into that scenario? Or you're going to be like, I'm done with the fighting. I'm done with the chaos. It's not going to, I think the big thing too is the winners think everything's going to change like tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
Nope. The real work begins today.
Yeah. The losers are gonna like, this is forever. It's not. And if you play that scenario, both sides, we're still gonna lose this.
Yeah.
So
well, we were talking pre-show. This feels like a bunch of high school garbage.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. You know, the one side is pissed off and posting memes about Hitler and all of these things, right? And then the other side is shoving it in people's face and I told you so's and all the things. And it doesn't matter which time and period in history, you need to become a good loser and you need to become a good winner. And those two things are the most important part of anything. We talked pre-show that my goal as a father is to make sure that my kids learn how to lose with honor and integrity and emotional intelligence. We talked about that several, 8 or 10 episodes ago, emotional intelligence. So whether you're winning or losing, it doesn't matter what the situation is. If you're a winner, you need to become a good winner. You need to lift up the loser. You need to thank them for their participation because for you to win, you had to have an opponent. You can't win on your own. You can't win without trials and tribulations. You can't lose without trials and tribulations. So as a loser in any scenario, you had to have somebody else to fight against for you to be a loser. You had to have somebody to fight against for you to be a winner. So be honorable about that. Be honorable in your actions going forward. Be honorable in your delivery and how you promote yourself going forward. The real work begins when you win. It's just a plateau to the next winner, to the next loss, right?
Yeah, I think it's more important right now. That on the winning side, you really need to hone on your leadership skills right now, because if you don't do it the right way, you're going to be the asshole.
Yeah.
And
whether you win or lose.
Yeah. And this is a call to action to you guys. If your side won. You better start reading some books. You better figure out how to, you may have been ridiculed for a long time, or how could you do this? How could you even do that part of it? And I'm sure there's some animosity, but you need to swallow it and spit it out, whatever you need to do, but you need to get rid of it. It's people are hurting, man. The losing sucks.
Well, you need to exercise your demons, because those are your demons, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're a winner or a loser, if you are pushing evil thoughts, if you're pushing condemnation, if you're pushing any of those adjectives that are not positive, whether you won or lost, you're really the loser if you're doing that, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, even the, winners, sports, whatever to it, everybody knows. You need to remember, and I think you've said this really good. You need to remember what it feels like to lose. Okay. Because if this is your if this is your season, or if this is your chapter of winning because of what happened yesterday, remember what it felt like when you lost.
Yep.
And this may be more intensified to one side. How did you want people to treat you when you lost? Did you want them to get in your face? Did you want them to be like, well, I don't need to hear them? Did you hide? So this is what I said, this is such a this is a self-evaluation. Look at yourself in the mirror every day,
Yep.
Win or lose. And when is enough enough? When is the darkness, which we talked about last week, when are you going to stop allowing the darkness to suffocate the light? When is the unity and chaos going to actually be a true spot of your character, of your persona, whatever it may be? But it is a gut check on both sides. And I think right now, that, whatever is, again, if you voted for the side and you didn't win last night, could it change your life? Yeah, it might change a little bit for a little bit. But if you really sit there and you come across and like, listen, we need to, left Twix, right Twix, whatever it is going to be, is right.
Still a Twix.
It's still a Twix, man. We're humans. We have differences.
We still
need each
woke
other's.
up in America.
Still woke up. I walk down the store. I can go get a Slurpee.
Yep. I don't have to worry about AK-47s going off down my street. I mean, there's so many positives.
Right. And I know that there's going to be some disruptions. There's going to be the guys that are going to go ahead and make it look really bad and do all this stuff. That's this big, guys. I know the media is going to make it look a lot bigger than it really is. But when you kind of look at the 10,000 foot level, everybody just wants to get along. That's it. And if you have some differences, and they may not line up because of Christianity or being Muslim or whatever that is, that's between you and God at the end of the day. You're not supposed to.
The reality is that life is going to push you so hard that the amount of losses that you're going to take, the amount of times you get hit on the chin and get knocked out, are way more than the times that you're going to be running around the ring like Rocky, right? So you need to learn how to lose with honor.
Yeah.
And you need to learn how to win with honor too.
Yeah, I think that was like a Rocky 5 or Rocky 6 when he's sitting there yelling at his son. He's like, you keep knocking down, you got to keep getting back up. You got to keep getting back up. You got to keep getting back up. This may be one of those times for you. Get it. I've looked at gutter. I've had some dark freaking times, man. But it's, and I'm sure a lot of you have. This isn't for the winners. It's not over. For the losers, it's not over. Brent and I are begging you on both sides, figure the F out of how you're going to be a better leader if you're a winner and how you're going to be a better leader if you're a loser. And just as I said, just because we have a new president, there is no white horse.
No one's coming to save you, right?
No one's freaking coming
You and
to
I are
save
aligned
you.
on that.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just like
no one. It doesn't matter what side.
Just because they're thinking to it, you still have the power. This is America. You still have the power to make things happen. This is a figurehead. I'm not saying to go ahead and completely like, I'm not going to do this. No, this is like come together. I'm like, okay, here's the idea. Now I need to come like, okay, I have this idea. I'm going to come across my neighbor and we're going to figure this out and we're going to make this work. I may not like all of it, but I like a little bit of it, but we're going to figure this out. I'd rather have community than live in a silo. And that's what everybody wants to do is like, okay, I have to be in this silo now. I have to be in this silo now. It's just not going to work. So
the beauty is, if you're listening to this, you woke up, you won. You have an opportunity to make a damn difference in this world today. It's on you. It's not for me to judge, it's not for Blair to judge. It's for you to judge yourself.
Yeah.
What are you going to do to make a damn difference in somebody's life? I posted last night, I think last night or yesterday. It may not help you to help that one person, but it may help them so much that you have no idea how much that it's changing their life.
Yeah.
We talk about pulling up to the top of the mountain once you get there. And that you might feel that you're at the top of the mountain in your game, but you may just be at the next plateau and you haven't reached the top yet.
Yeah.
Keep pulling somebody up. If you pull them up, they'll help lift you up. And so on. And so on.
Yeah. Good time to be in America, man. I'll tell you that.
It's a good time to be alive.
It's a good time to be alive. It's I think there's some great opportunities for us to figure it out. To really figure out some people and come across aisles and realize there's not that big of dividing line as some people want to make you believe. And it's going to be okay. I know it doesn't feel good for some people. I know it feels really good for some other people. But
you talk about it all the time. Ultimately, we all want the same thing.
Yeah,
right?
dude, we just want
safety.
Freedom. Yeah.
And freedom.
Yep.
And a life of fulfillment and fullness. We want our kids to be safe. We want our kids to get an education. We want our grandkids. Yeah, I don't have those yet. You do. but we all want the same things. And why can't we come together to promote those things for each other instead of being divisive? We've talked about division on this podcast since day one. It's not positive, folks. It's just not. I'm not saying you have to agree with everybody. I'm not saying you have to agree with anybody. What I'm saying is understand that each person has been put in your path to help you in one way or another today. It's up to you to decide if you're willing to accept that help. It may not feel like help at the beginning. It may not feel like help in the middle. But at the end, evaluate the interaction and appreciate the interaction because they were put there for a purpose, for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned pre-show the book Mission Drift. We were talking about some things, and I would tell you that a lot of people feel like that they're adrift today. Whether you're on the winner side or the loser side, depending upon how you see it, right? But they probably feel adrift. If you feel adrift today, buy the book, read the book, apply the book, talk to us about it. We'll help you. We both read the book.
Yeah.
And we both have forgotten enough about the book. Probably wouldn't hurt us to have that engagement, that conversation with somebody who's in the middle of reading the book. It will drive some interactions with us that will help us grow and help you grow at the same time. I would love to talk to somebody who wants to read that book.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's a good time too. I've been thinking about this, and we're kind of pulling a little bit of business and entrepreneurship. And even if you're an employee or an entrepreneur, I think it's a good time to write a mission statement about yourself.
Mm-hmm. Personal mission
a
statement.
personal mission statement. What's your purpose? I get it, guys. Again, I want to be understanding if there's a hard pill. I've seen it. I understand that there's people going through some hard times in here and just understanding how they got to this point, and it's going to be hard. Good time to do some self-evaluation, figure out what needs to be fixed. I will say this too. This is a good time for the people on the winning side as well. You better write a mission statement too. How am I become a better leader? Got what you wanted. You won this game. This game's not going to be for this. This game is not going to last forever.
Well, we talked about this pre-show. You won the battle, but you haven't won the war.
Yeah,
right. This is still a continuation of every day. You gotta get the W every day. You got to go for the W. You're going to get a lot of L's too.
Yeah,
throughout this process.
Yeah. You may want to enjoy this moment and stuff like that, but it is fleeting. It could be gone in a second. We all know that. So I think that this is a great. That's why I said, we said a couple minutes ago, this is a really good time to be in America. It's a good time to be American. We have the opportunity to feel everything. We still can go down to the grocery store and buy groceries. We can still go to the get gas. Still have pretty good medical. We still have friends and family. I understand those relationships may be strained. I have it. My relationships with my family are strained.
I love how you say we have pretty good medical. That's hilarious.
Pretty good, right?
That's a whole nother podcast.
I know. I'm just saying, but compared to like other places that we have, there's so many things that we do have when we take for granted. And so we sit there as like, okay, this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. And so right now, when you're taking the L, everything is a freaking negative, and I get it. And when you take the win, everything is rose-colored glasses and there's unicorns and it's awesome. But okay, so how do we share both sides? So I just think, I really like that idea, and I would hope that you guys will comment on that. What are you doing to become unified with your person or people or family members or friends or spouses? How are you going to get unified in chaos? But I really like this write a mission statement. And who are you and what's your purpose? And I challenge you. I want you guys
there's another good book. It's called A Purpose-Driven Life.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
It's awesome. It is lightly spiritual book, but the context of the book is so amazing. You've read it?
Oh, twice.
Yeah, it's twice. A good one.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, and actually major. I think if you ask any successful business person or business owner, they have gone through purpose-driven life. And yeah, there's some spiritual content to it, but realistically, it's just unleashing. It's peeling back that onion of who's really inside here. Because sometimes we get lost because of social media and things that we see on TV or the people that we hang out with, lose our identity. You and I talked about this yesterday, dude. Am I losing my identity by pursuing this lane? And that is, again, that could be, you're losing, you're chasing something, but I'm losing my identity. That's a whole different thing. We're going to get off a tangent. Got off a tangent last week. I'm not going on that route. I was talking McCumber. This one's for you. I asked him last week how I was like, dude, you guys were really good for a little bit. And all of a sudden, you kind of went sideways for a little bit, but you came back. I'm like, okay, good to know. So shout out to McCumber for calling us out. I appreciate that.
What I hear the most is that people want us to dig deeper onto some of this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
You know, in the time period that we have, because we're not going to do a 3.5 hour show. You know,
No.
we might do one of those at some point, but right now, it's just not in the cards to do a 3 hour show.
Mm-mm.
It'd be super cool at some point. But if you have this feeling like there's something that you didn't get answered, or that you'd like to go deeper, or you'd like to have a further conversation about this, the power is in your finger to click on the link and respond and write a message, send something to us, text us, email us. All the information is there for you to get to us, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, I think that's important. You're spot on about that, right? I mean, there's some unity right there in this world of chaos. Is that we get this feedback, we love the show and all this stuff. I'm like, that's awesome. Put in the comments. Remember, your comments are not for us. Your comments are for other people that are finding this channel and watching this episode and realizing that they're not alone in this. That's the whole purpose of this podcast, is to bring people together, no matter what side or what area or what faith that they have, is bring people together and understand that there is unity in all of us, much more than we truly understand. So some of us have done it. Some of us, as I said, some of it gives their comments and feedback to Brent. That's awesome. We love to hear that. We really need you to put it into comments. And so this time, if you do put in comments, hashtag unity and chaos, and then leave your comment. Super simple. And we could go on about this. I think you're right. I think people understand the concept. It's a crazy time. And when I say you and I, you that are watching this, you or that you're a subscriber, you or that are a follower of our stuff, if you're having a hard time, or you've won and you have somebody that's close to you, that you feel that you've lost a connection with because of all this, reach out to me, reach out to Brent, whoever you feel closer to. We're super simple to get a hold of. It's not hard to find. We're on Instagram. Phone numbers are everywhere. Go to Brent's Instagram. He's got his Linktree address with all of his contact information. You can see behind me, Team Armstrong. Look me up. I'm super simple. But you've got to make the effort to reach out to us. We are here. We say it every week. You have to take advantage of this. Don't freaking live in a silo. Regardless if you won or lost, reach out and ask these are the things that I'm struggling with. How do I become better? Because if you're a winner, you have a chance to become better. If you've lost this one, you lost this one.
Still have an opportunity to become better.
Still become better.
Plenty of room at the top
for plenty of room for you to talk. We actually need the losers more than the winners, because people who figure out I took the L and I figured out how to win, that's what needs to be talked more about. So, brother, any final words for you?
As always, and especially now, go make a damn difference today in every interaction, in every opportunity to make the world a better place, to make your micro world a better place. Smile at people today. I challenge you. Anytime that you're feeling down, smile at everyone you interact with, and there is no way that you're going to have a bad day.
Yeah.
It will change your trajectory. It will change your life. It will change your the way that you present yourself. You need to present yourself in a way that I'm trying to not only make everybody else's day better, which will then make my day better.
Yeah.
That's it. Just make a damn difference today.
Make a damn difference. And go back. Super easy to find. There's an episode we called Penny in the Pocket. I think Penny in the Pocket is a perfect time for right now. So watch this episode when you're done with that one, because we know there's a lot of time in your hands today. Go back and watch episode. It's called Penny in the Pocket. I have no idea what number it is. It's one of our earlier episodes. It is perfect for this time. And it's perfect if you've lost. It's perfect if you win. But go freaking make a difference. I think that's it. God, we're in America, guys.
We
We're a
won.
better place than we. It's awesome here. And don't let the darkness snuff out your light. And we're here for you. So until we talk to each other next week, have a great, great day. We'll talk to you guys soon. Stay safe, but most of all, God bless, guys.